Hi, I'm Professor Ulivi, and today we're going to be talking about how to maximize your Social Security income. In fact, today we're going to review some strategies that you can use to maximize your cumulative lifetime Social Security benefits. And then I'm going to make you an offer I don't think you can refuse. We won't talk today about Social Security for disability or Medicare. If you need to contact me for any reason, just call me 714-771-6000, send me an email at professor@ulivi.com, or just go to my website, www.ulivi.com. Thank you for attending. You should learn a lot of valuable material today, and it should be an interesting class for you. My typical disclaimer: any projections that we show, any analysis that we show, are just projections. Don't take them as guarantees. Okay, so what are we going to talk about today? The four most important, most common maximization strategies. The first one is the right application date, then the withdraw and refile, then the restricted application, and the file and suspend. I'm also going to give you a software demonstration, so I'm going to show you how each of these strategies work. Finally, we'll summarize what we talked about, and then I'll make you the offer you can't refuse. Okay, so let's start with maximization strategies. But first, a little review. Social Security in a nutshell. No other investment can match the combination of inflation-fighting increases, longevity protection, investment risk elimination, and spousal coverage that Social Security can, making it one of the most valuable sources of retirement income. In other words, Social Security is a very good deal. Okay, what's the goal for the maximization strategy? To choose the strategy that gives you the most income if you meet your life expectancy and offers you the most cumulative income should you live longer than expected. One of the keys, perhaps the most important key in claiming and maximizing your Social Security is your life expectancy, and we'll talk more about that afterwards. Okay, let's start with a brief summary of who we're going to use as the sample case. This is Cliff. We're going to assume that at age 66, which is his FRA, that's his full retirement age, he's going to get 100% of his Social Security benefit, or $1,000. If he retires early at 62, he will get $750, or 75% of what he would get at his full retirement age. But if he waits till age 70, he can get 132%, or $1,320. And on the right side, we have his wife. If she files early at 62, she'll get, as a spouse, we're going to assume she never worked, she'll get 35% of the income at the full retirement age, or if she waits till full retirement age, she'll get 50% of whatever the spousal benefit is. So, of course, if you have a child, he or she will always get 50%. In a nutshell, if Cliff retired at 66, he gets $1,000 a month. If his wife files at 62, she gets 50% of what he would gotten at an early retirement age. Okay, so let's start with the number one strategy, the right application date. The rule is very simple. The later you apply for retirement benefits up to age 70, the higher they'll be for the rest of your life. Simple. The later you apply up to age 70, the higher your lifetime benefit will be. Okay, what are the advantages? Well, here it is. If you file at 62, assuming at 66 you get $1,000, you get only $750. You get 75% of what you would have gotten at your full retirement age. But if you wait till age 70, you get an extra 32%, or $1,320. So you can see the huge difference between filing at 62 or at 70. It goes from $750 to $1,320 a month. Okay, what are the disadvantages? If you delay filing and you don't live beyond your break-even point, you've lost money. In other words, let's suppose that you say, I'm going to wait till I'm 70, and you leave this earth at 65. Well, it didn't do you any good. So, in general, for example, I give you two examples. If you plan to file at 66 but die at 63, it was a bad decision. But if you file at 65 and you die before 78, which is your break-even point, it's a bad decision too. So you have to meet your break-even ages in order to file early. All right, let's go over strategy number 2, the reset. That is claim, withdraw, repay, and refile. Sounds complicated, but the concept is relatively simple. the idea here is to claim early and then pay it back. And you do this every year. Okay, so for example, let's suppose that you are 62 and you file, you start claiming your benefit, and within 12 months, you suspend it. And so you repay all the benefit that you've received to date. Now, you're saying, it doesn't make any sense that I should file collect for 1 year and then repay it. I'm no better off. Yes, but there is a reason why you're better off. Think about it as an insurance against an unplanned death. If you wait to claim, but you die before you claimed, you get nothing. Okay, so it's sort of like you get your cake and you get to eat it too. Again, let me illustrate this situation. Let's suppose that you file at 62 and you get your Social Security for the full year. At the end of the year, you pay it back, and you take it again at 63. You draw it for a whole year. At the end of the year, you pay it all back. You're saying, well, I'm no better off. It's a hassle. Yes. But what would happen if you would not have filed and you die, say, at 63 or at 64, you don't have gotten anything. This way, at least you got some money. So think about the reset as an insurance against a premature death. Okay, what is the disadvantage? You can only do this once a year, but you can do it every year. And you need to have savings equal to the total Social Security benefits you have received. So those are the two major drawbacks, that you can only do it once a year, which is no big issue. But the biggest thing is that you have to return all the money. Okay, what's the procedure for the reset? You file early, you draw the reduced payment for 12 months, and then you withdraw your claim at the end of the year. That's it. Okay, and of course, as we said, you have to repay all the benefits received, and they don't charge you an interest, so it's a really good deal. Again, the following year, you refile for Social Security, and you start the process all over again. And that's how the reset works. Okay, so let's go over an example here of Cliff. He draws $750 at 62, so by in that year he's taken a total of $9,000 out. He withdraws, he repays the $9,000 and refiles. Now his new benefit is $800 a month. Notice how it used to be $750 and now he's going to get $800 a month. And then so it's an extra $50 a month or $600 a year. He basically made nearly a 7% rate of return on the original $9,000. But remember, this is not so much a rate of return concept. It's a just in case you happen to die early while you were thinking about claiming later, and then in that case you get nothing. Okay, so again, this is a real good insurance against an unplanned death. It's a way to draw early to Social Security without a permanent reduction in your benefit, and of course you got to have enough money to repay everything. Remember, you have to repay all the benefits, including any that your dependents got. Okay, let's go to strategy number 3. File and suspend. You suspend your own payments until later, but your spouse files now. How does this work? It's ideal for couples if especially one is eligible for little or no Social Security on her own. And the primary worker must be between the full retirement age and age 70 to make this work. And the best situation works if both spouses are close to the full retirement, are at the full retirement age or over. And then either partner can continue to work. Okay. How does this work? At 66, the higher income spouse files for his or her own benefits but suspends the payment. Then the other spouse, he or she should be also 66, at least 66, starts drawing up to 50% on the record of the higher income spouse. While the primary person's payments are suspended, they continue to accumulate the delayed retirement credit. Remember, at 66, you get 100% of your benefit, but at age 70, you get 132. Okay, what are the advantages? The long-term effect is that 182% of the payments continue until the first death. That is, the person that suspended at 66 will get at age 70 132%, and the spouse has continued to receive 50% at age 66, total of 182%. After that, the survivor will get the 132 payment because no matter who dies first. In other words, so let's suppose that the woman is the one that dies second. She will get to jump from 50% to 132% of the Social Security. What are the disadvantages? You got to have sufficient cash flow to make it through the period in which one of you is not drawing the Social Security. And that's the biggest drawback to it. And of course, you got to expect to live beyond your break-even point where it would not make any sense. So how do you file and suspend? At 66, you file for your own benefit, but you suspend the payment. At the same time, your spouse files to get up to 50%, assuming she's 66 years old. This is very, very important. At 70, you start drawing your Social Security, and you're going to get 132% plus the 50 that your spouse is getting, for a total of 182%. Okay, so what's a summary of this? You get a lower payment between ages 66 and 70, but you get a higher payment after 70, and you get a higher possible lifetime payment because one of the spouses is going to get the 132% for life. Okay, let's go over an example. Let's do the traditional situation that they're both 66. At 66, Cliff draws $1,000 a month and she draws $500 a month. So the total payments between 66 and 70 are $72,000. Total lifetime payments of $342,000, assuming they live to age 85. Now, let's suppose they follow this strategy of file and suspend. Okay, so you get 50% of one of the benefits at age 66, and then at age 70 you're going to get 132 plus the 50 to a total of 182. So at 66, Cliff draws zero. Claire draws half of his full retirement, which would have been it's $500 a month. At age 70, he switches to the $1,320 a month, and she continues to get the $500 a month. So by age 85, using this strategy, they have been able to collect a total of $351,600, which is a lot more than the $342,000 than they would have if they would have used the file and suspend example. Okay, in a little summary again, here's Cliff and the wife Claire, and at age, his full retirement amount is $1,000. At age 62, neither of them are going to draw. At age 66, Cliff files but suspends. The wife starts collecting 50% of what he should have gotten at that time, which is $500. But at age 70, Cliff goes ahead and starts receiving his retirement, which now is going to be $1,320 instead of the $1,000 he would have received at 66. She continues to receive the $500. And so they're getting a total of $1,820, which is a lot more than they would have. And when he passes away, she continues to collect the higher amount of $1,320 that he did. Okay, so you have some flexibility in the file and suspend. You can start this at any point between 66 and 70, and you can decide at what time you want to do that. Okay. And more details that we don't need to get into at this moment. Okay, let's continue with maximization strategy number 4, the restricted application. The spouse files a benefit now, and for the benefit and the other a benefit later. Who can benefit with this strategy? It's a way for married couples who have both reached the full retirement age to maximize cumulative benefits. The higher earner takes a lower spousal benefit at full retirement age and waits until 70 to apply on his or her own record. In other words, let's suppose they're both 66 years old, right? One has a higher Social Security than the other one. So the lower spouse goes ahead and starts taking her full retirement. She takes, say, the 50% of the other person, and then the other person waits till age 70 when he can switch to take 132%. Okay, what are the effects of this? You get lower payments between ages 66 to 70, but then you get the higher payments after age 70. possible higher lifetime payments to you. Okay, let's go over a typical example. Cliff and Claire. Now they're both 66. They both worked, and they both should withdraw $1,000 at 66. So by age 70, they will have withdrawn a total of $96,000. That's $1,000 each, $12,000 a year each for 4 years. By 85, that amounts to a total of $456,000. So they have both taken their full retirement at 66. Well, what's the strategy with a restricted application? That at 66, Cliff and Claire both file and suspend, but Cliff draws $500 as Claire's spouse. At age 70, both switch to the $1,320 a month. And so by age 85, they would have, using this strategy, they would have earned a total of $499,000, which is close to $40,000 more than using the traditional approach. Okay, let's go over this example again. Cliff and Claire, at full retirement, they both get $1,000 each. But what are they going to do? What's the strategy? At age 66, Cliff is going to file as a spouse. So he's going to get $500 based on what she should have gotten at that time because she filed and suspended. Then at age 70, Cliff switches to his own because you get whichever is higher. Yours, 50% of your spouses are your own. So he switches to $1,320, and she starts finally withdrawing it on her own. And so now they're both taking $1,320, and if Cliff dies early or either of them die early, the other one continues to receive $1,320 for life. Okay, what's the disadvantage? You have to have the cash flow to make it work in the years in which you're not both going to be withdrawing. And then, of course, we go to the issue again of when are you going to die? It's critical that you be around to at least your break-even point. Okay. Let's do a little summary of what we talked about today. First of all, Social Security in a nutshell. No other investment can match the combination of inflation-fighting increases, longevity protection, investment risk elimination, and spousal coverage that Social Security can. We went over 4 strategies. The right application date, which basically says the more you wait, the better off you're going to be if you live longer than when Social Security believes you're going to live. The other strategy was the resert, early claim, withdraw, replay, and refile. This was insurance. It was simply a way to ensure that you're going to get something. And then the file and suspend, in which you file but you don't draw, so that your spouse can start drawing. And then the restricted application, which is very similar to the file and suspend. Okay, now let's go over the offer you can't refuse. You can run about 3,000 different combinations to find out which is the best one for you. So, question is, how do you find the best one? Well, you can certainly walk into your Social Security office and let them select one for you, or you can accept the offer you can't refuse. For $300, this is what I'll do for you. I will recommend a primary solution that maximizes your cumulative lifetime benefit, and I'm going to give you a report that compares the recommended strategies to the others. On top of that, I'm going to show you a graphical analysis of your cumulative benefits for different starting dates and different life expectancies. And on top of that, I'll spend 45 minutes to an hour with you explaining your choices and answering any other questions you may have about your personal finances. Okay, we're going to go over some examples now. Okay, we're going to go over 5 different cases. I'm first going to give you some background information. Then I'm going to show you the report that we can prepare for this couple. So let's call this John and Mary sample restricted, because we're going to use the restricted strategy. John is 65 and Mary is 63. There are large disparities in their insurance amount, in the Social Security amount, and in their life expectancies. John's primary insurance amount is about $2,413, and Mary's is expected to be $985. Now, the life expectancy for John is 75 and Mary's is 89. See, John doesn't expect to be around for very long, while she expects to be around for quite a long time. So then the question is, what is the claiming strategy that will maximize their cumulative lifetime benefits? I've entered all the information for this couple, and the software comes out and says that the recommended strategy for them is for Mary to begin benefits based on her earnings record at the age of 63 and 5 months, that John filed a restricted application for spousal benefits at age 66, then John switches to benefits based on his earnings record at age 70, Mary adds spousal benefit at the age 67 and 9 months, and then she switches to survivor benefits. If they follow this strategy, they can expect to receive a lifetime benefit of $940,000. This is the recommended strategy. If they live longer than Social Security thinks they'll live, they could get as much as $1.4 million over the lifetime. And if they live less, they can get $400,000. Now you're going to say, okay, Rick, the software says that this is the recommended strategy, but are there others to take into account? Yes. Look, you can file for early. But now keep in mind that in the recommended one, the lifetime benefit was going to be $940,000 if they live what Social Security believes they will live. But if they filed early, notice that they'd only get $835,000, about $100,000 less. So the recommended strategy, which they call the primary strategy, in their case, is just the best. Okay, this is the type of report that we can run for you, and it'll generate all sorts of further analysis for you. But at least this gives you an idea of what I can do for you in your to find out the strategy that will maximize your Social Security benefit. All right, now we're going to do the software demonstration, the case number 2. We're going to call it Edward and Sarah File and Suspend. They're both 63. Their primary insurance amount have a moderate difference, and both are expected to live longer than the average lifespan. Ed's primary insurance amount at 66 is $1,745, and Sarah's is $1,298. Life expectancy is 84 for Ed and 92 for Sarah. Now the question is, what is the claiming strategy that will maximize their cumulative lifetime benefit? Okay, we're back in the software demonstration. I've entered all the number for this couple, and I run the recommended strategy. This one calls for Edward to file and suspend benefits based on his earnings record at the age 66, which makes Sarah eligible for spousal benefits at 66. At that time, Sarah files a restricted application for spousal benefit. Edward begins benefits based on his earnings record at age 70. Then Sarah switches to benefit based on her earnings record at age 70. And in 2034, she switches to survivor benefits. If they follow this strategy, they should be able to get $946,000 based on their life expectancy. Again, we can compare that to some of the other strategies, and there's 3,000 different strategies, but let's compare this to the full retirement age, for example. In this case, they would only get $831,000, which is about $100,000 less. Again, the importance of running these reports is that if you don't pick the right strategy, you could be giving up $100,000 to $200,000 in cumulative lifetime benefits. Okay, let's go through another software demonstration, another case. We'll call this Jim and Lisa Take Own. They have significant difference in age. He's 65 and she's 56. They have a moderate disparity in their primary insurance amount, and their life expectancies are very similar. At Jim's full retirement age, he should expect to get $2,156. Lisa's at full retirement age, $1,453. Jim has a life expectancy of 84 and Lisa of 86. Now we have the same question as before. What is the claiming strategy that will maximize their cumulative lifetime benefits? All right, I run the numbers again, and here's what the program recommends as a primary recommendation. That Jim begin benefits based on his earnings record at age 70, and that Lisa begin benefits based on her earning record at age 62, and then later on she switches to survivor benefit. If they follow this strategy, they should expect to get a cumulative lifetime benefit of $1,022,000. And how does that compare to the other strategies? Well, let's look at, for example, the full retirement age. That one would give them about $900,000, or about $100,000 less than the recommended strategy. Again, you can look at a whole bunch of other strategies. If they take early at age 62, and they get nearly as much as before, but again, about $100,000 less than if they take the recommended strategy. So the idea here is that this program allows us to pick which is the best strategy for you to maximize your cumulative lifetime benefits. Okay, let's do another software demonstration, a completely different case study. Jeff and Sandy file early. They have a small difference in age. He's 64 and she's 61. They have a moderate disparity in their expected full Social Security benefit at 66, and their life expectancies are very different. Jeff expects to collect $2,006 at age 66, and Sandy expects to collect $1,589. But his life expectancy is only to 74, which is about 10 years less than Social Security expects him to live. And Sandy is expected to live till age 95, which is a lot more than what the Social Security Administration expects her to live. So the question is, which is the claiming strategy that will maximize their cumulative lifetime benefits? Again, I run the software, and let's see what it tells us. That the recommended strategy is that for Sandy to begin receiving benefits based on her earnings record at age 62. That Jeff filed a restricted application for spousal benefits when he's 66, and then that Jeff switches to benefits based on his earnings record at age 70. And then after 2024, Sandy switches to survivor benefits. If they follow this strategy, they could expect to get about $1,058,000 in their lifetime. If, for example, they followed other strategies, like the full retirement age, they would have gotten about $200,000 less. That's a lot of money to live over there. Again, what this software is designed to do is to find the best solution for you. And if that doesn't want to satisfy you, I can show you all sorts of other variations as you've seen today. Here's a final software demonstration. We're going to do a file and suspend. This is Roy and Mary. Their primary insurance amounts are far apart. Mary was a homemaker and worked for a few years only. Roy is 66, she's 64. Age difference is not that big of a deal. Roy, however, believes he will live a short life. His primary insurance amount at age 66 is $1,821. Mary's is $329. Roy expects to live until age 71 and Mary to age 85. Now the question again is, which is the claiming strategy that will maximize their lifetime cumulative benefit? As usual, I entered all the numbers and run the projection. Okay, what's the recommended strategy? That Mary begins benefits based on her earning record at age 63 and 10 months. That Roy file and suspend benefits at age 66. That Mary adds spousal benefits at age 64, and that Roy begin benefits based on his earnings when he reaches 70, and then of course Mary switches to the survivor benefit when he passed away. If they follow this strategy, they should expect to receive about $536,000 if they live as long as Social Security expects them to live. But again, if they would have taken, for example, the full retirement age, they would have gotten about $100,000 less. Again, what we see is that this software is very, very valuable to help us determine which is the best strategy to take. I've shown you by now how with the software that I have, I can run basically any type of situation and we can find out which is the best strategy for you. I'll do this for $300. What will I give you for $300? I'll show you how to get the most benefits. I'll make it clear for you. I'll simplify the rules and I'll compare. I'll compare different scenarios and ways to file. I will also show you the claiming strategy with interactual visuals. What I showed you today was a little bit less than what I can show you on one-on-one. And I'm going to tell you exactly when to file, what to file, and how to file. Okay, so I said I'd do all this for $300, but I'll tell you what, since you've attended this seminar, I'll give you $25 off. So I'll just ask for a net price of $275. I'll also give you a money back guarantee. If you're not happy with the report and my analysis, send us an email or just call me up. Give me a simple reason why you were not happy, and I'll send you your money back. I'm not going to hassle you. I just want to find out why you may have been unhappy. Okay, what do you need to bring to the appointment? The most important thing is your latest Social Security statement. I got a typo there. It says your latest Social Security statement. If you need a copy, you can get it online, but it's a headache. Go to www.ssa.gov/my account. Click on My Social Security, sign in or create an account, follow instructions. Now, they're going to ask you some personal information. It seems relatively easy, but I tried it on myself several times, and I was never able to log in. Now, you're going to have to create a username and password, but you'll know how to do that. If you need them to walk you through, they give you a toll-free number, 800-772-1213. I tried that number myself, and it took forever to get through, and I was never able to get through, even after being on hold for an hour. Okay, so if you have to make your appointment, call me, 714-771-6000, or just shoot me an email at professor@ulevi.com, or go to my website, www.ulevi.com. There's a way there to register. So again, thank you very much for attending this seminar on how to maximize your Social Security benefits, and I hope to meet with you soon.